What's up, Commanders fans? Welcome back to Commanders HQ, your home for all things burgundy and gold. If you love this team like we do, smash that like button right now, because today we've got a big one for you. The Washington Commanders are leaving no stone unturned in their quest to build a championship roster. The front office is getting aggressive, and that could mean not just upgrades, but potential blockbuster moves that shake the entire NFL landscape. We're talking Pro Bowl level talent, all pro names, and yes, possibly a move that would instantly make this offense the most explosive in the league. So let's dive into the rumors and real possibilities surrounding not one, but two huge names: tight end Mark Andrews and wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Let's break it down. Let's start with the tight end room. One of the most pleasant surprises of 2024, veteran Zach Ertz. At 34 years old, Ertz turned back the clock, posting 66 catches for 654 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's his best statistical season since 2019 with the Eagles. And remember, this guy's got a Super Bowl ring. He knows what it takes to win. The connection with Jayden Daniels was real. The veteran was a security blanket, a leader, and a red zone weapon. But here's the thing. Ertz is on another one-year deal, and with his age, you've got to be realistic. So what does that mean for the future? Enter Mark Andrews. That's right. According to Last Word on Sports, Washington could consider making a serious play for the Baltimore Ravens All-Pro tight end. Let that sink in for a second. Zach Ertz and Mark Andrews in the same offense. Andrews is younger, more explosive, and when healthy, he's one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. He's had multiple 800-plus yard seasons, double-digit touchdown years, and he's been Lamar Jackson's go-to guy for years. And now, there's talk that Baltimore might be willing to move on. Why? A mix of injury history, contract pressure, and the fact that he's entering the final year of his deal with a $16 million cap hit. For Washington, the question becomes, is the juice worth the squeeze? Can you imagine defensive coordinators trying to cover Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz, and Mark Andrews? Good luck. It's unlikely, but it's not impossible. And if you've been paying attention, this Commanders front office has shown they are not afraid to take big swings. But that's just the beginning. Okay, now it's time for the nuclear option. Buckle up. There's a massive rumor floating around the league right now. One that could send shockwaves through every defense in the NFC. Bleacher Report's Maurice Moton has proposed a trade that would send Tyreek Hill to the Washington Commanders. Yes, that Tyreek Hill. 7-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, arguably the fastest player in the history of the league. According to the proposal, the Commanders would receive Hill and a 7th round pick from the Dolphins in exchange for a 2nd and 6th rounder in 2025. Let's pause there. That's a steep price, but not insane. And here's why this might actually make sense. Washington is currently working with $26.3 million in cap space. Jayden Daniels is still on his rookie contract. This is the moment when smart teams build super teams around cheap, talented quarterbacks. They've already added Deebo Samuel. That's a huge get, but pairing him with Tyreek Hill and Terry McLaurin? That's a Madden Ultimate Team lineup. That's unfair. Let's look at Hill's resume. In 2023, Hill led the NFL with 1,799 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns on 119 receptions. He was a literal cheat code. Now, in 2024, he had a bit of a down year. 81 catches for 959 yards and 6 touchdowns. Not terrible by any means, but by his standards, subpar. Add in the fact that he's not happy in Miami. After the Dolphins lost to the Jets in Week 18, Hill said, and I quote, "I'm out. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, I gotta do what's best for my career." Those aren't cryptic words. That's a wide receiver asking to be moved. So, why Washington? Because this offense is built to go vertical. Jayden Daniels has a cannon, and now he's got the legs, confidence and experience to launch it downfield. With Hill in the mix, Daniels could let it rip. 50-yard bombs, sideline fades, post routes. The full playbook opens up. And remember what Moten said. With Hill in the fold, Daniels could let it rip a lot more downfield for backbreaking plays that put opponents away in close matchups. And that's exactly what separates good teams from championship contenders. Look, none of this matters if you don't have a quarterback. Thankfully, the Commanders have found their guy, Jayden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year. First, rookie QB to lead his team to the NFC Championship. And the scary part? He's just getting started. Head coach Dan Quinn said it best, Daniels is still only scratching the surface of what he can be. The team is working with him this offseason on footwork, mechanics, timing, and decision-making. If he takes another leap in year 2, the NFC should be terrified. That's why these moves matter. You don't just build around your quarterback, you empower him. You give him the keys to a Ferrari, not a minivan. Adding Deebo Samuel was huge. Adding Mark Andrews would be lethal. And adding Tyreek Hill, that would turn Washington into a Super Bowl favorite overnight. Okay, let's bring it back down to earth. These blockbuster rumors are exciting, but they come with challenges. Mark Andrews carries a $16 million cap hit. Tyreek Hill is on a 3-year, $90 million deal. Washington would need to do some maneuvering, possibly cut players, restructure contracts, or push money into future years. Plus, there are still needs at edge rusher and cornerback. You don't want to be too top-heavy on offense and leave the defense thin. But if General Manager Adam Peters believes this team is ready to win now, if he truly thinks this roster can compete with the 49ers, Lions, and Eagles, then bold moves like this can make all the difference. This isn't a rebuild anymore. This is a reload. Jayden Daniels, rookie sensation, Heisman winner, number 2 overall pick, walked into the NFL with sky-high expectations and somehow managed to exceed every single one. He didn't just survive his rookie season, he straight up took the league by storm. How's this for a debut season? 25 passing touchdowns, just 9 interceptions, and over 800 rushing yards with 8 touchdowns on the ground. The man was a walking highlight reel. But more importantly, he led this Commander squad to a 12-5 record and all the way to the NFC Championship game, something no one predicted after a 4-13 season the year before. And now, the narrative is shifting. Some folks around the league are starting to whisper about a sophomore slump. Let's address that. Let's be real. That kind of chatter always comes when a young star puts the league on notice. We saw the same thing with C.J. Stroud after his impressive rookie season in Houston. He was supposed to elevate the Texans to Super Bowl contention in year 2. But what happened? Stroud's top receivers, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and off-season addition Stephon Diggs, all dealt with injuries. His offensive line had issues, and, while Stroud's numbers dipped slightly, Houston still posted a 10-7 record and won a playoff game. That's not regression, that's perseverance. And here's the truth, Jayden Daniels was even better than Stroud as a rookie. Their passing stats were similar, Daniels with 25 touchdowns and 9 picks, Stroud with 23 touchdowns and 5 picks. But what set Daniels apart was his mobility and playmaking on the ground. He's a dual-threat quarterback in the truest sense. And not only that, he had to carry a much bigger load for Washington than Stroud did for Houston. The Texans had an elite defense with Will Anderson Jr. and Derek Stingley Jr., the Commanders. They had Daniels leading the way, and now the front office is rewarding him with reinforcements. GM Adam Peters has been aggressive this offseason, starting with the addition of Deebo Samuel, one of the most versatile weapons in the league. He adds an entirely new layer to the offense. Then you bring in Laramie Tunsil, a franchise left tackle who instantly stabilizes the offensive line and protects Daniels' blind side. That's a big deal. Pair that with returning stars like Terry McLaurin, a healthy Jahan Dotson, and the reliable Zach Ertz at tight end. and suddenly this offense looks like one of the most complete units in the NFC. This isn't just about avoiding regression. It's about taking the next step. And don't think for a second that Jayden is getting complacent. He's been attacking this offseason with intensity, working on his mechanics, footwork, timing, and leadership. That's the kind of work ethic you want in your franchise quarterback. Head coach Dan Quinn and offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury have both praised Daniels' maturity and approach. He's acting like a 5-year vet, not a second-year player. Daniels knows what's at stake, and he's putting in the work to rise to the moment. And you can feel the excitement in the city. Washington hasn't had this kind of buzz around a quarterback since the early days of RG-Seg. But even then, this feels different. This feels like the foundation of something sustainable. The culture has changed. The front office is aggressive. The coaching staff is experienced. And the locker room is fully bought in. Most importantly, they believe in Jayden Daniels. Imagine trying to game plan against this offense. You've got McLaurin stretching the field, Debo in motion wreaking havoc, Dotson in the slot, and Daniels orchestrating the whole show with his legs and arm. Good luck stopping that. And let's not forget about the running backs. Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler will give the Commanders a balanced ground game to keep defenses honest. Everything is in place for this team to take another big step forward. So here's the big question for you, Commanders Nation. Should the Commanders go all in? Would you trade for Mark Andrews? Would you make the bold move for Tyreek Hill? Or should we stay the course? Keep our picks, develop the young guys, and play it safe. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you're loving the content here at Commanders HQ, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking story. Because this team is building something special, and you're gonna want to be here for every second of it. Thanks for watching, and as always, hail to the Commanders!